Hi, welcome to Truck Sim Diaries. In this video series, I record my Euro Truck Simulator 2 gameplay and use it as a backdrop for my unscripted thoughts and feelings on what's going on in my life and the world around me. Sometimes I'll have a lot to say, sometimes I'll just comment on the gameplay, and sometimes I'll just be quiet. Either way, I'm glad you're here, so let's take a look at where we are and where we're going today. Right now, we're in Banska Bystrica, Slovakia, and we're going to Mostar. It's in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Now, today's a special occasion because, as you can see here on the truck odometer, we're coming up on 200,000 kilometers for this truck. And I thought it was worth to at least notice and celebrate. I tried to bring us a cake, but I couldn't find a cake to put here in the cab, so I got us this jar of Nutella. It's close enough. We're gonna start up the truck and hook up the trailer. Go pick up the cargo. Today's cargo is wooden beams. We're doing a cargo challenge to have with a couple of my friends. The challenge is different kinds of cargoes each week, and it has a couple different rules in order for you to earn points for your cargo. It's it's pretty fun. A new way to play the game, kind of get different kinds of cargoes. Mostly meant as a fun little project. So let's see if we can lower the truck a little bit. Oh, it's as low as it's gonna get. Oh, there we go. I'll back up real careful. Connect it. And then we reset the suspension. And let's go. We're gonna pick up the cargo. It's just north of here. It's pretty close. So it's Saturday today. And it's love Saturdays. Just got done with the chores. My wife and daughter are my daughter's doing figure skating, so my wife took her to that. Son, he took off to his cousin, so I was awarded with some playtime. Figured we'd do this delivery. So I got this huge wheel in front of me, which I'm using to drive. It is very nice, and I like to kind of geek out with my stuff. So the wheel, it has the brand of the like the steering wheel manufacturer in the front of the wheel, but I managed to get a hold of grill ornament for Scania, and I glued it to the wheel to get to get the kind of nice look of it. I'm gonna post a picture for you now, so you can take a look at what it looked. I'm really happy with this. It looks really cool. It's the little things, you know. So, me and my wife, we got this thing on Saturdays. We got date night is Saturdays. I'm always looking forward to that. We started doing that like right after I think it was right after a couple months after my daughter was born. I think it was. I don't really know. I'll have to ask her when it was. Anyway, we kind of feel that
keep right, and
we don't want to fall into the trap of just, being tired and just crashing in the couch, watch a show or whatever, get stuck by the PC gaming or whatever. So, like, in order to not get stuck in that pattern, we decided that, we need to spend some time and effort, on each other. So, started with this date night concept. And it's nothing fancy at all. We just, have a few drinks, put on some nice clothes, and just spend time with each other. But it is great. It is the highlight of the week for sure. Yeah, it was a weird week. I went to work on Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday I was home, with my kids. They had a cold and stuff like that. So, and then Friday I went to work again, and Friday was a good day. I got this returning client. I work as an electrician, and I do all kinds of electric work. But I got this guy that he's a recurring client. And he's just overall really nice guy. I'm always happy when he needs my help. We have some great conversation, him and me. Like, it is hard to find. I've always been, kind of softy. It's like, as you could probably tell, like, I don't mind talking about, my feelings on stuff. And this guy's a big softy as well. He's very kind. I really appreciate it.
It was a nice ride.
Because, like, it is easy to get drawn into, like, and it's been like this not all my life. I've had a couple of different, occupations. I've been, like I told you earlier, I've been security guard. And then I worked with graphic design and photography. And now I'm an electrician. Now, that's really different kind of people on all these jobs. Like the colleagues, I mean. See if we can turn it around here. See if we can point the truck in there and then do the reversal. We'll point. Let's see if we can get the truck in here. So, like these guys in security, they were much like the guys in, electricians and all the other ones that I meet in this profession, like plumbers and you know the type. They're not everyone, of course, but for the most part, they are pretty typical for the people in that kind of line of work, like really manly man. And that's never been my thing. So I don't feel like I belong really, and that's perfectly fine. I enjoy being I enjoy being different. I've always appreciated that. I've always felt like it's a strength rather than a weakness, even though it can be like, it can be trying at times to feel like me and a bunch of guys at work, we got so different, outlooks on life. But I also enjoy that. It's like, it's a pretty common theme among my friends as well. Like, they're very different from me because I get a little, when I hang out with people that are too like-minded, I feel kind of like, I wouldn't say that I feel like we're wasting time. We're not, but I feel like it's a positive thing for me to, spend time with people who are of a different mind than myself. And I've always thought of it like, that's a strength to me, to get different kind of inputs from multiple different kinds of people in multiple different walks of life, from you know, from whatever.
Ready to roll.
Okay, so the delivery is 909 kilometers. It's going to take us 43 minutes estimated real world time. We always go longer than that. And we need to rest in 12 hours and 21 minutes. So an ETA in-game time is 13 hours and 45 minutes. So let's take a look at the map and see kind of where we need to rest. We don't have to rest until we're at the end, but for the fun of it, let's filter this by resting place and then city names just for fun. Sarajevo. Sarajevo's pretty close to Mostar, but it could be fun to see. Let's see how long it takes to go to downtown Sarajevo and rest here. It's 11 hours and 55 minutes. Ah, it's a little too close. So let's take, we'll take this one. We'll rest here. 9 hours and 55 minutes. Yeah, that's good.
Let's do this.
Okay, we're set. Let's start going. So, what was I saying? Oh, being different. And I've always been happy about that. Never been ashamed of, like, being different. Thinking different. You know, having a different outlook. Completely different perspective. And I mean, the people in general, the people who I've been, you know, in these different kinds of work environments that I've been throughout my life. Technically, the guys and girls, of course, who were in, like, you know, graphic design, and I spent a lot of time with, you know, like-minded, or whatever you're gonna call it. People like journalists, writers, and they're usually, you know,
Get ready to turn left.
they're a lot, you know,
Turn left.
softer is not the right word, but I'm gonna use it anyway, because those people, they're most of the times they're, you know, they're typical for being, you know, writers and graphic designers and, you know, illustrators and other photographers. They tend to be of a certain, you know, niche. And whenever I was in a like when I was in security, or now that I'm in, you know, well, let's call it construction. To my current colleagues, you know, I should be more like the writers and you know, photographers and illustrators or whatever. But when I was in with those, like the creatives or whatever you're gonna, let's call them creatives, just because I don't, you know what I mean. Whenever I was like with those guys, I felt barely no connection at all. So I was an outsider there too. So it's like wherever I go, I'm an outsider. You know, because I'm just not, you know, on a group level as an individual. We just don't have the same, you know, outlooks and ambitions and thoughts. So it's like, yeah, and this has been a problem throughout my life, of course, but especially when I was younger, because I couldn't quite, you know, come to terms with it. So I was like, you know, I couldn't find my tribe, you know. Of course, that is totally fine to not find your tribe. It's something, well, I was talking about earlier. It's become a matter of pride for me more than anything, because I am very proud of, you know, being different, because I always have like different outlooks and it sparks, interesting conversations instead of just, being another person in the bubble. Because I've never felt that I was a person in a bubble. I guess people in a bubble don't really feel that either, because I guess that's part of the bubble mentality. But I think of it more of a strength than a weakness. And it's something that I'm extremely happy about, to be able to, spend time and interact with people who are of different opinion. And I value those people. They help me understand the world a lot better, I think. It's noticeable, because the groups tend to talk about each other on like a huge group scale. It's not like writers are like, oh, these plumbers are this and that. It's not like that at all. But like when you see big changes in politics of the society.
Keep right, and then exit right.
Either way, like if it swings left or right,
Exit right.
I always have, people around me who are like, who can't understand what's going on because they don't, interact enough
Turn
with
left.
people who are of a different mind and opinion of themselves. And it's like, well, it's one of the most, polarization is, it's the single most, dangerous evolution that I've seen on a society level. The us and them. Because everyone's different. I mean, even the group, inside the group, they're all different. And, that's good.
To turn left.
Oh, I've been here before. This on-ramp is just weird to me. So, like, what is this? That's strange to me. Anyway.
Keep right, and then turn right. Turn right.
Yeah, so this guy, he's, I don't really have much more to I don't really have much more to say about him, except that I was really glad to see him. I had a great day. But it wasn't all stay at home. My daughter's got piano class, so I took her to that too, and my wife was at work, so I had, that was one of those days when I was home with my son. He wasn't. That's a problem with it. His eyes were red. It wasn't anything major, but I could tell that he was bothered by it. So I just stayed home with him. Anyway, he could come with us to the piano class. It's the piano class is held in the library in the town next to mine.
And then exit right.
So we got some time in the library reading books together, and I found this book.
Right.
There's this book series. Swedish children's books.
Please watch the speed.
That it's about this kid who's playing with he's playing with his toys, and it's always like
Go straight on.
A bulldozer or a police car or a spaceship or like a space shuttle or whatever. Always some kind of machine or large vehicle. And like the setup is that he's playing with his toy, and then you step into his imaginary world where he is this person who does this for a living. And like it's very informative, even for me. Like I don't know anything about what it's like to drive an excavator, but you get like I really appreciate like it is catered for children, so it's very simple and basic facts, but it is facts nonetheless that like I find interesting. So you get to learn about what it's like to operate these vehicles, machines, or whatever.
Please mind.
And it's also a little bit about what it is like for the people who works with this. It's, let's take for example we have a bunch of these books, and there's like 50 of them. I don't know. There's a lot, but we have one that is when this little kid is a bus driver, and then you go into now he is the bus driver, and then the story goes on of his day in the life as a bus driver. It is like some info about the bus, kind of where the engine is, and like the bus can lower its suspension to make it easier to get on and off with wheelchairs and trams and whatever. And it's like he wakes up early in the morning and he prepares his coffee that he brings with him in a thermos, and bus company, they want him to wear this and these clothes, and then he has to unlock the bus, he opens this hatch. It's just a bunch of facts basically, and it's also a little bit of a story. Like in the bus, he drives in the city and it's narrow, and how is the bus designed to be able to take narrow corners and tight streets. And then he gets a 15-minute break, and then there's a bunch of kids from a school that are going to go on a bus ride, and it's just cute little stories. And we found one of these books that he was driving like an identical truck to this, like a semi-trailer tractor truck. And it was really interesting because I was like, oh, I actually want to know, so it was great. It was a great level for me, even though I am 40 plus. I learned a lot about trucks, and it was also like the beginning of his work week, because it was a European. In the story of the day in the life, he was driving cargo in Europe, so. It was the start of his work week, and it was so sad because it started with like he wakes up early in the morning to go pick up his truck, and it says goodbye to his wife and kids. He's not gonna be home for the whole week. And I was like, man, what a fucking... I can never do that. Can't be like... if I was 20 years old and didn't have any obligations, any family or anything, it'd probably be a fantastic job. Just go around Europe, see all the worlds. It's got to be great. But like, as a family man, that'd be just punishment worse than anything. Just being away for that long. Even if the money would be good, it's just not worth it. I am like, both my parents were careerists, so like I was always very low on the priority scale, and that is not good. I would never ever do that to my kids. Be away for that long, both for them but also for me. Like I remember my daddy was away all the time. He had no, he doesn't know who I am. Never did. And it was apparent, like he brought home, gifts or whatever, and it was just completely wrong stuff. Like I don't care about this. So that was, that was a little. But I think it's good that these books that they have, like, it's not only facts, but it's also
right, and then turn right.
A little bit of an insight. If the kids,
turn right.
Gives the kids at least some idea of what it's like to get into the field of whatever they're looking at. I kind of wish that they did the series about, like, it's exclusively about machines or vehicles, and I kind of wish that they did this with multiple different lines of work, so that the kids would, at an early age, get a better insight of what kind of different jobs are available. I would have really wanted that, because I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. Like, I don't know. I'm doing this now, but man, who knows? So that, for me, that would be great. But on the other hand, I don't know if they existed when I was a kid. No one read me books. But yeah, still, it is. I think that'd be good. And it's also, like, I love reading these books. Reading with the kids, it's nice. It's an intimate thing to do. They sit right next to you. You look at the same thing, and they learn, stuff. But also, it's interesting to see these. I've always been curious, and that's one of the things I enjoy with my job. Like I told you multiple times now. Like, I get to see all these places that just exist without me knowing of it. I also like to, listen to what people do for a living and what it's like. But yeah, I think I'm gonna keep truck driving as a gaming hobby. I know better than to work with the things I really love. It destroyed, well, maybe not destroyed, but it didn't work any wonders for my love of photography when I started working with it. I mean, sure, I was in a good place to work with it, because I didn't, AI wasn't even on the map, so thank God for that, because I wouldn't want to be a photographer, today and have to compete with AI, thankfully. But it was hard enough. Like, I really love photography, and I've had it as a hobby for years. And then working with it, it's slowly started to chip away on the love. We were in meetings, and you were talking like, they were like, I've got this, my niece who's in high school can also take pictures. Why should I pay you? Like, well, what do you say to that? Yeah, okay, bye. It wasn't always like that, but there was, for sure,
Please watch the speed.
companies, like big companies, that they just expect that. It's almost like they expect me to pay them for taking their pictures. It's weird.
Get ready to turn right.
The disrespect. So I got really tired of that. So it's kind of lost, it lost the love was taken out of it. It was not a labor of love, it was just labor. Daff stops. Thank you, Daff. I didn't leave him much of a choice, did I?
Go straight on.
Yeah, I really like this. I enjoy this It's kind of weird, you know, to play a game that which is something that people do for a living. A photography simulator, electrician simulator. That'd be pretty fun though, baby. Surely there is something close to it. And also the game doesn't, like, I don't have a virtual family that's with virtual kids that miss their virtual dad, thankfully.
Keep right.
So it's only the good parts. And I like it that way. I want to keep it that way. But until like I started the truck gaming just a couple of years ago, Euro Truck Simulator I haven't even played for a full year. But it's cool how, like, I didn't really think about it much, you know, trucks in general. And then, like, when I start to think about it, I start, you know, seeing them a lot more, or focusing on them a lot more, you know, in real life. You know how, like, when you're gonna get a new car or a new, I don't know, a new car or a new jacket or backpack or glasses or whatever, and you find find one that you're interested in, and all of a sudden you start seeing it everywhere. It is, you know, it is very much like that. And I've never even, you know, I've never even sat in a truck in real life. I did come close once though, but it doesn't really it doesn't really count. There was, so I was at work with this with my friend who's a building technician. And he knows that I am a truck fan. And he had this so he called me. I was doing, you know, some work in one of his buildings, and he called me like, "Oh, you gotta come, you know, you gotta come to this and this location now." And I was like, "Okay." He doesn't really care. He doesn't. He thinks it's a little weird with the truck thing, and you know, it's fine. But anyway, so he called me to this place, and there was this sewage cleaning truck, or whatever you would call it. You know, if if your toilet pipes or whatever gets all messed up, then you call this this huge ass truck, and they got this big hoses that they connect to suck all the nastiness out of there. Disgusting, disgusting vehicles. So he was like, "Check this." I don't know if I think he was pranking me or he was trying to be nice. I'm not really sure. Maybe both, maybe none. I don't know. But he was like, so I came there, and these guys were doing their thing. Like, it smelled of, you know, death. And he was like, pretty nice. And I was like, what? And these guys that were working, these were like,
Go straight on.
you know, 55-year-old, parting hair, earrings, slick back, you know, just the kind of guys that keep pictures of naked girls in their truck. You know, those kind of guys, like real originals. And one of them was inside, you know, working the hoses from the inside, and the other one was outside, you know, working the controls of the truck. So my friend, he was like, and we were right by that guy, and so my friend was like, pretty nice, and I was like, what? And he was like, oh, the truck. And I was like, yeah, sure. And so my friend said to this guy, he was like, this is my friend, and he loves trucks, and I was like, oh my god, oh, where are we going with this? So he said he loves trucks, and he would like to sit in one. Can he sit in yours? And this guy was like, what? And I was like, no, not like this. Don't do me like this. I just wanted to sink through the ears. And this nasty truck? No, I did not sit in this nasty fucking truck. But that was as close as I ever got. Sit in a sewage cleaner Scania. But it was pretty fun though. I'll give him that. Whoop. Oh, that was close. And yeah, I've had my fair share of sewage cleaning. My dishwasher broke. It was actually a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, that thing is maybe 7 years old. So I was thinking maybe we just, you know,
Go straight on.
get a new one. The pump wasn't pumping anymore. So I was on the, like, sometimes, you know, I am happy to be capable of multiple different things, especially, you know, problem solving and being able to fix things. But sometimes, man, I just don't want to do it, you know. Spending a whole day fixing things, I don't want to come home and fix more things, especially, you know, when it's questionable the outlook of the procedure. Anyway, so my wife talked to her dad about it, and he said that he would love to help. So I don't know. I don't know if the idea was that he was gonna do us a favor or her a favor by fixing the dishwasher, or if she was doing him a favor to let him, you know, fix the dishwasher. Either way, I happened to be home when he came over with the to try to fix it. Man, I can only watch a person struggle for so long, so I ended up fixing the dishwasher anyway. So that's good. But it works, so I mean, net positive, right? And like, I don't know how the dishwasher works. I have no idea how to change the pump. But I mean, most things you can kind of figure out, and the more things you figure out, the better you get at figuring out the next thing. And I've figured out a bunch of things. I've figured these things out. Not that I fix washing machines, but I fix other things that I don't know how they work. So I, you know, just start somewhere, open it up, try to figure out the process and see where the process is in processing, and then fix that. It's kind of well, I guess that's the only way to do it, at least that I'm aware of. So after a while, you do this, you know, with a bunch of different things, and after a while, you're not afraid to take on something that you don't know how it works. It can be scary at first, but after a while, yeah, that just goes away. It's just another thing. Oh, we're in Croatia. And it turned out it was a lot more stuff than so I changed the pump and it still didn't work, so I had to, you know, follow the entire workflow of the dishwasher. But sometimes, you know, I just want to be like, I don't know how this works. I can't do anything. I don't know. That's not always an option. It'd be fucking expensive to have, you know, be like that all the time. And I am not saying that I'm doing everything. Absolutely not. I am very fortunate to have is that a shadow of a plane? Oh, that's cool. I am very fortunate to have a lovely wife that takes good care of me. She is much better at being an adult than I am. I like to think of it as she makes sure that we're good for the future, and I make sure that we're good in here and now. I'm not a mad child or anything, but from my perspective, it just looks like everything is just so easy for her.
Keep left.
And I'm sure it's not, you know. I'm sure the struggle is equally hard for her as it is for me, but she just makes it look so easy. And everything. I guess maybe in some way the things that I'm good at, I make it look easy too. Looks like some kind of wait station. Let's roll the window down and get that sweet sound in here. Oh. Raining. It's been raining a lot lately when I've been playing. Everything's in order. It's good. Thankfully. Thankfully, it stopped raining. You know, in real life where I live in Sweden, it's been raining for weeks, feels like. But we've had a couple of sunny days. You can really tell that it is getting lighter. So it's in Sweden. It is very dark during the winter months, which is 6 months. And you know, in December, sun is barely up by 9, and then it drops back down. You know, even before 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Oh, here we go, Bosnia and Herzegovina. So, that can be pretty trying. I've always, you know, I've always been kind of having these seasonal depressions. And I think a lot of it is because, well, I'm you know, in the summer months, I'm very active outside. I do mountain biking, kayaking, that kind of stuff. And it gives me a lot of joy. You know, physical activity and being out in nature, and it's fun and it's cool. Like, it's great. And I kind of forget that every year. I kind of forget that, you know, come November, that's out of the question. And it's not the same, like, you know, being on a indoor training bike, or I have a paddling machine in my little storage, so I can kind of keep the shape up a little bit, but that is almost torture compared to the real thing, like staring into a ball. It is just, it is very speaking for the whole, like, for the whole experience of, you know, losing your ability to be outside. All of a sudden you're like staring into a wall. And it's rough. This year hasn't been as rough as it usually is, or the last couple years. Thankfully, we've had a pretty mild winter. And, you know, even though I want everyone to have, you know, winter, because everyone else gets a little happier when it's a little, you know, the snow makes it a little lighter. Kids love playing in the snow, stuff like that. I can't ignore the facts that this mild winter that we've had this year has been, it's been good for me, because, yeah, like I said, I have to be outside working in it. If I could choose, though, I would much rather have snow, because everyone else is more happy about it. Dude, it's getting tired. Need to rest in 2 hours of in-game time. That's about 6 minutes, and we're gonna be there in about 30 minutes. So it's perfectly fine. So yeah, it's been a little milder for me, and now it is over. Well, it's not over, but almost. We're January's done. February's here. It could very well, you know, snow now, and the snow could be here for up until end of April. You never know, but at least it's a little bit lighter, and that helps a lot. In-game character guy yawning, telling me that it's time for rest. It's not me yawning. Yeah, the sunlight and the sun is up for just a little bit longer. That is very nice. And we've started to plan our summer vacation. Normally we go on one trip in Sweden, and then one trip up to my mother. She lives in northern Sweden. So we stay 1 week, we rent a house or a cabin or whatever, somewhere in Sweden or one of the neighboring countries. This year we're going to southern Sweden. It's a place where my wife spent a lot of her summers. We've been there once with the kids, and they loved it. That was multiple years ago, though, so they don't really remember that much, but that's great. Now we're starting to see, like, you know, see the light, so to speak, at the end of the...
Take the second
Well,
exit.
maybe that's the wrong expression.
Exit now.
We have been looking forward to it. It's good to have something to look forward to.
At the roundabout, take the first exit. Exit now.
Don't trust these bus drivers. We are getting tired, need to find a place to rest.
Go straight on.
Can't really see the light. So it's pretty cool how, like, if I shift around in my seat and move the camera a little bit for the head tracking, kind of follows it. Oh, there we go. There we go, we can see the rest stop on the map. It's gonna be a little close though. A lot closer than I had preferred. So we need to plan better next time. I don't like to be stressed. It's the only thing I don't want from this game. It's the stress. I can imagine doing this in real life. Yeah.
Get ready.
I can only imagine that they, as much as anyone else, is,
Turn
know,
right.
a product of the ever continuous growth of everything. So smaller margins, less
Get
time,
ready to turn left.
deliveries. I did not want to do that.
Turn left.
Driving's, well, stressed. It's not good. Oh, it's an industrial area? That wasn't very
Get ready
nice.
to turn
Well,
left. Turn left.
I guess we'll take it.
Get ready to turn right. Turn right.
Oh, it was right here. That's convenient. Okay, let's stop the engine and get some rest. See if the rain stops. Hopefully it does. Let's give it another rest. Get to morning. Oh, and it started raining again. Well, it's out of our control. Okay, we're rested. We got half tank of fuel, but we don't have very far to go, so I think we're gonna be just fine. Let's see about turning this around. I think we're gonna raise the axle of the trailer. Help us take the turn a little bit tighter. There we go. Okay, we're set. Let's drop the axle again like it's going.
Get ready to turn right. Turn
Oh no! I forgot the. We gotta celebrate the. Oh, I ticked over. I forgot it. The odometer ticked over. I was talking. I was talking too much. I'm sorry.
Get ready to turn right. Turn right.
Well. That's what happens. Keep talking.
Get ready to turn left. Turn left.
We got 13 minutes left to go for 265 kilometers. And then we'll be in Mostar. I knew I was going to forget that. I've had this, like, I've had this happen so many times. Since, like, cars, I've owned cars that I've had at work. I was like, oh, I've seen so many, like, videos of people posting fun stuff about their, you know, when the odometer does something, you know, even. I always want to highlight it. I get really emotionally attached to all my vehicles. Like my work car, I've had that one since almost since I've started. So me and my current car, it has a. I mean, we have a history together, and it is. Normally, we keep our company cars for like 5 years or whatever, 3 years, whatever, and then we get a new one because it's. For various reasons, it is cheaper to do that. I don't really fully understand it, but I don't have to. So, but it is what it is. However, I've asked, like my boss has been like, "Oh, it's time for you to get a new car," and I've asked them kindly to please don't. Like, I don't need a new car. I like this one because, like, it's, you know, it's the one I've always had. I get emotionally attached to a lot of, you know, inanimate objects for various reasons that I don't really understand, but I do, and it's kind of how I work. So this car is like all the other cars, the old cars in, you know, in my company. Mine is like more than 3 times as old as the oldest one. It's not old, you know, but still, and it is. We're coming up on. I'm running out of reasons, and my boss is running out of patience with me, so I'm gonna have to change it pretty soon. But I really don't want to. And it also had like, it has a, oh shit, what, how does this work? Oh, I gotta go like this then. It's coming up on like a major odometer switch, and like it could have been yesterday. Now that now that we talk about it, it could have been yesterday. It probably was, because I've been thinking like this one here, the the game truck and my real world truck. Like I'm gonna, it's not a truck, it's a car, but I'm gonna keep tabs on this and like, I don't know, buy a muffin or something to celebrate, but I probably missed that too. Well, looks a little wider here, so we'll go right. That's normally though. Anyway, make sure that you get some Nutella and celebrate with me the 200,000 kilometers on the odometer of the truck in the game here. Don't buy cake. Buy Nutella. Never was a fan of it, though. I mean, it's not horrific or anything. Well, yeah, I guess it's a little horrific. But I've never, I've had it. It doesn't taste bad, but it's not my favorite thing. But I will get some Nutella to celebrate that.
Exit now.
200,200 kilometers that we celebrated with the honking of the horn in the game. Happy 200,200 kilometers. But yeah, going on back to vacations. I love going on road trip car vacations.
Caution. Please mind the speed limit. And week 5 is almost over. That was the wooden beans. Time really does fly. We're almost at week 6. I think week 6 is gonna be something with the box trailer again. The one that we had for the very first videos. Don't remember what the cargo was. Beautiful countryside. We have a lot of mountains in
Keep right,
Sweden,
and
but
then exit right.
they don't really look like this. I don't have it where the rock is exposed
Right.
on too many places. I mean, there are some places, but nothing too much. And
Please watch
most
the speed.
mountains in Sweden aren't very steep, so it's not like we're not a huge rock climbing nation. It's more like a hike on mountain, because we have like mountain ranges that go on forever and ever and ever. But it's not, you know, the climby kind of mountains or the walky kind. That is nice too, though. If you want a really good hiking vacation, I can highly recommend Sweden. Up in northern Sweden, there's this hiking trail called the King's Trail. It's not the only one in Sweden. There are a bunch of different, but that's like the longest and most popular one. You get to... There's these overnight cabins that you can stay in. It's nothing fancy or anything, it's just a bed. But that way you don't have to carry a tent with you if you don't want to, of course. You can go for multiple days. And carry pretty light. And I want to do that someday. I haven't done it. Like, I've not always been into, you know, like I talked about at some other point, at least I think I did. I wasn't really big on, you know, spending much time in nature when I was younger. It's more something. But I did a lot, like when I was a kid with my grandfather, of course. But ever since he died, it wasn't really a thing anymore. Until I, you know, got older. And the hiking between the cabins is not really something that it's not super popular with the kids, I think. So I'm going to hold off for a couple more years until I do it with them. Blasting past these houses at 60 kilometers per hour, carrying 22 tons of wooden beams. What could go wrong? Really cool map though. Almost there. 3 minutes.
Caution. Please mind the speed limit.
Oh, and it stopped raining. This counts as the Balkans, right? I've always wanted to go here for a vacation. Such beautiful nature. The game really is varying. I guess Europe is too, but it's so cool how it's just a completely different vibe. And it's like this game where it just want to spend time in it, in the universe. Like, doesn't really matter if I deliver this cargo or not, you know? That's not, I don't look forward to finishing this delivery or the whatever finishing the delivery is going to give me. It's just going to give me in-game currency, and I'm not really going to do anything with it. Don't really matter. It's the journey, man. But it really is. And like, I like this. And I get to learn a little bit about geography, because I will guess something and then I will find out later that I was wrong. Betcha Bosnia and Herzegovina is technically not in the Balkans. But then I'll know, much like I know, much like I now know that Italy does not have a coastline to the Atlantic Ocean. You learn.
Keep left.
As long as you live. Look at this. This is nice. I would want to be here. Just walk around and just in the 24 degrees outside air temperature.
Get ready to turn left.
Mostar. I think I have a friend, or an acquaintance rather,
Turn left.
who was from here. Okay, let's see where we're
You have
gonna...
arrived at your destination. Your route guidance is now finished.
It's here on the right. See if we can turn straight. Let's turn left and get straight. There we are. That was it. Let's take a look at some stats. 985 kilometers, 34.8 liters per 100 kilometers, and I have learned that this is not super good. It's not super bad, but it's not super good. 1 hour of driving time exactly. Longer than we were expected was 45 or something. We always go over that. Scania S, that's at 200,472 kilometers. Wooden beams, 22 tons. Planned 906, real 985. So we always go a little bit over. I think that has to do with route selection for the GPS. I have it set to highways, I think. We can look it up and see if we can maybe drive shortest next time and see if we can get closer to the planned and the real. Tollgate, tollgate, tollgate. So no damage and no fines. That is very good for my stats. Sorry, the points for the weekly challenge. We were just a little bit short. I would have wanted it to be 100 kilometers more because then I would get a distance bonus, but can't have everything in this life. 18,971 was income, taxes, other costs. Well, that's the toll gates and stuff. Fuel cost was 638. Revenue for the company was 15,468. Delivery rating was 4 stars out of 5. Damage 5 out of 5 stars. Distance 3 out of 5 stars. Fines 5 out of 5 stars. Fuel economy was 5 out of 5 stars. So even though I'm not very happy with it, the rating thinks I did a good job, and that's good. Mass of the cargo 3 out of 5 stars. So that was it. That was a nice drive. I'm happy to be here in Baby Balkans? I don't know. We'll know next time. Oh, I almost forgot. I got another thing. So my wife said that it was mostly me talk and no, I didn't talk about trucks. So I figured I'd add a segment with crazy interesting truck facts.
Crazy interesting truck facts.
So, see this on the grill here? It says super. Historically, Scania has been using that word for their supercharged engines, which basically means turbo. So they have turbo diesel engines, which are very, very powerful. Lately, though, Scania has decided to take this trademark and use it for one line of their engines, and it is a 6-cylinder engine, whereas the most powerful engines that they use are V8s. And you can see, of course, I drive a V8 because it's the coolest thing ever. And Scania V8s, they have this little symbol on them, and that is kind of status symbol because that's like the super powerful, most famous Scania engine. Anyway, technically, the V8 Scania is not a super anymore since they changed this. Now, I didn't know this, so I learned this and because I posted like I said, there's a community to this game, and I posted a picture of this truck, and I was like, I have the super logo here because it looks cool. That's pretty much it. And I got a comment, of course. I got a comment that was like, "Oh, actually, you have a V8 Scania, and that's not a super, technically." And I was like, "Oh, but it looks so cool." And then I started looking into it, and real Scania drivers still take the super logo and put it on their trucks for the simple fact that it looks cool. So I was true in my simulation. Yeah. That's it for today's episode. That's it for today's crazy, interesting truck facts. Take care of yourself. Thank you for watching. Bye.